time Mrs. Clinton ran for president was, of course, against Barack Obama after he won the presidency. He appointed Mrs. Clinton as his Secretary of State and as First Lady and then as America's top diplomat. Mrs. Clinton has a long history of working in foreign policy. CCTV's Nathan King has our story.
No potential U.S. president has had more foreign policy experience than Hilary Clinton. It began as First Lady. Her appearance at the Fourth Women's Conference in Beijing in 1995 introduced her diplomatic skills to the world.
Thank you very much.
As First Lady, she visited a record 79 countries and gave counsel to her husband on global issues from Northern Ireland to Somalia. But her executive role was limited, and when campaigning for president back in 2008, she was accused of exaggerating her credentials, including famously stating she came under fire in Bosnia, when the video shows she faced only flowers. As a US senator, she voted for the invasion of Iraq, a vote that would come to haunt her when she campaigned against Barack Obama for the White House and lost.
I mean, obviously, that's why I'm here.
But after that bruising 2008 election campaign, the two came together and Clinton became Secretary of State at a time when US standing in the world was low. She envisaged a new approach.
We must use what has been called smart power, the full range of tools at our disposal: diplomatic, economic, military, political, legal, and cultural.
As Secretary of State, she also pushed for a new focus away from the Middle East to the Asia Pacific, arguing that the 21st century would be America's Pacific century. The pivot to Asia was born.
We obviously believe that the world's strategic and economic center of gravity will be the Asia Pacific for the 21st century.
The pivot was highlighted by the US restoring relations with Myanmar and the first ever visit there of a US Secretary of State. A more vigorous engagement with China was evident, and her style was pragmatic.
We want to reset our relationship.
Clinton also famously hit the reset button in relations with Russia. However, it turned quickly when NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden took refuge in Moscow, straining ties and testing her diplomatic skills. Events in the Middle East also tested the new Asia pivot. The so-called Arab Spring led to the US withdrawing support from longtime Egyptian ally President Hosni Mubarak. Then Clinton backed a less than successful Western military intervention in Libya. And in 2012, America's ambassador there was killed at the consulate in Benghazi when it was attacked by militants, creating a scandal back home. It's still a long way off, but if Hillary Clinton gets to the White House in November 2016, then if history is a guide, then foreign policy will be a priority for her administration. Also, perhaps less reliance on the US military, more reliance on diplomacy, a pragmatic and non-ideological way of viewing the world. Nathan King, CCTV, Washington.